Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are live.
Oh man, we are live, and my blue is it too much blue?
I don't think so. You think so?
Oh, I feel like I was blending in or something to that.
Blending into the background.
Yeah, almost disappeared.
You did not disappear. Trust me. And we have an interesting topic this morning. We're going to talk about it in just a moment.
Tell me what it is.
The topic for today is purpose and profit. Today we're having a business conversation. Is it? Personal conversation, business information, and spiritual inspiration. And we're going to get it all in back in a moment.
Good morning, my name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Like.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. I am so excited to be here with you this morning.
I would love to be with you.
I'd rather be with you. Don't mess with my phone, baby. Now.
I know the song. Good gracious.
And you gonna mess with the
We
phone?
change songs every day. What makes you think I'm changing? I'm messing with a song when I change it.
Okay, because we do. Good morning. Well, I like our topic today, and I hope you do too. But today we're talking about this concept of why you're doing business. Are you doing it for profit or purpose? Or both? And are you sure? Are you sure you're doing it for that reason? Why are you doing what you do?
Yeah. Why are you doing it, and how consistent are you in both?
What do you think about?
I have seen quite a few. I've been doing some marketing work and I've been doing some updates on some current projects that I'm working on, which is it's good, but it takes me on a direction of the author. Okay. Oftentimes, when I'm working on the author's project, it actually takes me with the author. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. It takes me down the road of purpose, oftentimes, for my authors. But almost as soon as the purpose is explained and it's extracted from their project and presented to the world, then comes about the focus on the profit for them.
How much money can I make off this great book I just wrote? Okay. And I understand that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That does. How about these people? Look, I'm doing this work because I just love helping people. And if I just so happen to make some money, fine. But other than that, I'm not really doing it for the money. I'm doing it because of the help of the people. Doesn't that sound like a noble thought?
It's got to be both.
But doesn't it sound smart and noble and good?
It sounds that way according to some of the ways that we've been indoctrinated, but not necessarily in a truth. It's really about the importance of sharing the information to help others. And in exchange for that, there should be an exchange of value for value, because people simply don't respect they don't respect everything.
They don't respect what they don't pay for. Not nearly as much. You know, what? I got some on my head. How about these people? And Zig Ziglar has this line that's on it. People that say, well, look, I'm not trying to make a lot of money. I'm not trying to make a lot of money. You know, I'm just trying to be okay. You ever hear anybody say stuff like that? Mm-hmm. And Zig Ziglar has a response for people that say that.
What's that?
He goes, I believe for the people who say that they're not trying to make a lot of money, I believe those people would lie about other things too.
Wow.
They would lie about other things too. Okay. Yes, you are. In my practice, It's and you can see it early. I'm a sales coach. I'm a sales confidence coach. And a lot of my clients happen to be coaches. And a lot of people become coaches after they realize that they have something to offer the world. They've learned some things, they've been through some things, and they find themselves being the person that everybody comes to for advice. And then they get this great idea. How about I do this for a living? How about I make some money with this? Because I'm doing it anyway.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
It does.
Okay. But those
it makes
people,
sense to me.
And a lot of them may be coming from the clergy even. And that makes sense to me as well. Because they've been doing this work for a long time.
They figure some things out.
Yes, for a while. And a lot of people seem to be helped by them. Mm-hmm. They've got experiences where they've actually helped people. So they want to earn a living with it now.
Yeah.
And in my practice, baby, and you know it to be true, I suspect this in your practice as well, it's something that's glaring relatively early, that they are more customer focused than their own wallet. They value the client's experience so high, and they value the opportunity for them to make money so low. Mm-hmm. And that throws the whole game off when it comes to making money. They want the client and the potential client to enjoy the process. They want the client to talk good about them. They want the client to feel good. And they think about the client focus on a high level, but they don't think about their own money very low, if at all. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a challenge for me to explain to clients that that's off. Your focus can't be high on them and low on your own self. It has to be on the same level of importance to you, the entrepreneur. Yeah. You've got to value your own money to the same level that you value your client's experience. Mm-hmm. And even though I try to explain that simply, sometimes it's still a challenge.
It's funny that you say that, because for me, oftentimes it comes to the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it often comes to the opposite. It comes to the point where now they have begun to overvalue. And I'm not saying that to diminish the value of what they have or what they do.
Good morning,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what's being tapped in and what's being focused on so much right now is how much you can make with it. Almost to the point that if you don't talk about how much you can make with this knowledge, experience, opportunity, then the people are not listening.
Because that's what they want to talk about.
Yeah. So maybe it's want versus need.
I was going to say, is it because they really, really need the dollar right now?
Both.
Okay. We're talking today purpose and profits. Purpose and profits. We almost called it purpose versus profits, almost, but we didn't.
We deliberately did not call it versus, because we are of the belief that you need both, but that there needs to be a balance, an equal balance between the two, the awareness of and the respect of. Good morning, Tarnez. Thank you for joining this morning.
Good morning. There needs to be an awareness of and a respect for the balance. Yes. My entrepreneur friends, when you have like Lisa was saying a moment, you figured out some things. When you figured out some things and you decide you want to turn that solution that you have, that gifting that you have into a business, you do want to earn money.
Right. I mean, the Word of God tells us to earn the money in lots of places, specifically in the area that the woman is desperate for money, right? She's about to lose her family, her home, her children, right? So yes, in 2 Kings chapter 4, she's about to lose everything, and she is told to go sell and live off the rest. So she's instructed to gain value for value. The value that she has is the oil in her cruise, and the value that she is getting in exchange for that is the finances to pay off her debts and live off the rest.
Now that's practical, and that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to. Why do you keep looking at? What's wrong with my head?
Bits.
Or what?
Lint. You gonna put more on you?
I've been ran to the store this morning. Yeah, Tarnas actually jogged to the store and jogged back.
No, he didn't.
So, and I made some coffee and rushed into the room. So I may be still a little hot. My body might be hot and I might be perspiring still.
It's not the perspiration.
Hmm?
It was not the perspiration.
Okay. Anyway, so that rag should not have any in that. It's been washed.
All right. You're going to have
wet
much?
and everything.
Good,
It's
yes.
wet right now.
Good.
I use it to wash my face. It shouldn't have any now. So, as you're going about we're talking to you, my entrepreneurial friends. As you're going about your, now we was talking about Jim Rohn, the great Jim Rohn, before the broadcast started. Jim Rohn speaks to people that have jobs, and his philosophy was, if you have a job, you should have a part-time business, definitely, because his quote was, "Profits are better than wages. Profits are better than wages. The wages from your job will earn you a living and keep your stuff going on. But the profits from your business can make you rich." That was his premise. And the way he did it was with network marketing. He had a full-time job and he had a network marketing business. And his story is what he thought got him over. His story is what he thought was his secret sauce. His story was, I earn a full-time living from my part-time business. That was what he said. And he kept his job even after he didn't need to keep his job because he was earning so much in his part-time business. But he kept his job because he didn't want to have to get rid of his story. That profits, that full-time living from a part-time business thing. So with that being said, what say you? Profits or purpose? What's more important? Do you see the value of them being just as important? Is that possible? Lisa prefaced this last night when we were talking about it. Let's talk about that balancing act. That balancing act.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I am a staunch proponent that your story is very, very important. How you tell your story, how you live your story, how you express your story. I definitely believe, good morning, Katura. I definitely believe that it is important to share the story, even sometimes when you don't even understand the wisdom in it fully.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean when they don't fully understand the wisdom but still share their story?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's a challenge, entrepreneurs. We preach and teach that your money is in your story. Your money is in your story. And we teach and preach how to sell yourself and your services through a story format. And some really, really smart people, really intelligent entrepreneurs, they can understand the story. They can understand the story format. And a lot of times they can understand it intellectually. But sometimes they grapple with understanding the power and the meaning about why it works. Okay, what does it do for the other person? And I challenge with that because I try as I might. I want them to understand the why it works more than just what to do. I think when people understand why it works, it makes the what they do so much more effective. If that makes any sense.
It's sort of like the importance of comedians and entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
They are conveying information in such a way that they have also captured the attention of the individual.
It's funny. They made it funny.
And a lot of times we glean better when we are entertained.
Good morning, Dr. Beverly. So if I teach someone how to tell their story about what they do, how to answer the question of what do you do for a living, and I teach them the 3 steps to it, and I teach them I try to teach them the point of each step. But so much of the time, people don't understand the point of the step.
Or they misrepresent, they miscalculate the weight of each step.
Yeah, the importance of it. Yes, that's another miscalculation. We're talking about today, Dr. Beverly, and what's that? Shahanda?
Good morning.
We're talking about profits and purpose.
And profits and purpose.
Why do you do what you do? Are you doing it for profit? Are you doing it for purpose? Or are you doing it for both?
And how can you maintain, or how can you achieve and maintain a good balance of both. I think that is the important part. And I think that it is, part of it is we forget that there are different segments to everything that we know and do.
Okay.
And we try to get, forgive me if anyone feels me generalizing, that's not the intention. I'm using these pronouns just as just trying to get to the point. Sometimes we try to get everything out of step one, as opposed to understanding that there's elements or levels that will bring about the wealth that you're seeking.
An illustration popped into my mind as you were just talking. Okay. Imagine first date scene, a first date. Okay. Man and woman on their first date, no matter how they met. Maybe they met through a dating app. Okay.
Hey, Beverly.
Not through a dating app. Maybe they met through friends. Okay.
However they met.
They met. On the first date. Okay. And they both show up and they decide to have dinner on the first date.
Mm-hmm.
And they both show up at the first date with their own documentation. Okay. And they exchange documentation. Now, on the documentation, he has his qualities. Okay. His pros and for him.
That's a rather formal date.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has all the stuff that's good about him.
Okay.
I'm this.
So he sent his representative.
Okay. And he also has on the documentation, he has the his faults. I don't do dishes. Okay. He has all that stuff on there too.
Oh, like you. I don't open doors.
Oh God. We could have went a long time without going to that place.
It wouldn't have been as much fun.
So he got all of his stuff. Everything that he thinks that she should know about him on documentation. And she's done the same thing for him. Mm-hmm. She's written out everything that she thinks he needs to know.
Yeah.
And then they both have all this very well detailed information about each other because they figure this is the kind of stuff that they want to learn along the way before they decide to get married. So now, but they have it all up front now. Okay.
All up front.
So now you have all the stuff about me. I have all the stuff about you. Mm-hmm. We could decide tonight. Should we spend the rest of our lives together because we have everything we need, right?
Yeah.
Did that work?
That worked for us.
That didn't work like that.
It didn't work like that.
I have done a date like that before. It didn't work like that.
It did work like that.
I didn't show up. Here's all my documentation. You didn't either. But my question is, if that scenario happened, would it make sense for them to not waste time and go ahead and commit to each other for the rest of their lives right then because they have all the information they need?
No.
But they have all the information, baby. What else they waiting on?
They have all the information, but it's still a process. Good morning, Ms. Vivian. I could know all these things about you, but the process of discovering them and the process of engaging as we glean the value of those characteristics is also important.
Dr. Beverly, first, Sister Felicia says, good morning, beautiful people. Shalanda says, good morning. Dr. Beverly says, how to achieve the balance of both you get your great mentor, like Lisa Santiago McNeill, if you are fit, and then you get your great sales coach, like Brian Keith McNeill, to show you how to balance it. Yes, but Lisa teaches you how to do it too. She does a lot of what I do too. I have got to shout out Dr. Stephanie Burrows. Dr. Stephanie Burrows has taken 3 sessions with me.
I thought I had it.
And it's on my page if you don't have it or somewhere. But she's taken 3 sessions with me. And from the first session she did with me, this is a shout out to Dr. Stephanie D. Burrows. After the first session she did with me, she did what I taught her to do. And then she used it right away. And she got a client. Okay, she got a client from something that she learned from me right away. And she was so excited. And then she kept trying it. And then she started to write out in her text to different people in her messaging the stuff she had learned from me. And she started getting clients. Her interest level went up and she started getting paying clients. And she recorded a video testimonial for me last night. And it's the kind of video that I can use. I could use it. And Lisa's trying to share it with you guys tonight.
Everyone, I'm Dr. Stephanie D. Burrows, CEO of Stephanie Speaking. I am a speaker, trainer, clarity coach, and published author. I've been blessed to be able to be coached recently by Brian K. McNeill, the confidence coach. And I must say, he has made a significant difference in my life and in my business in just 3 short sessions. In fact, let me be honest, he made a difference in the first session that I had with him, because afterwards, using the technique that he taught me, trained me, and had me practice right then and there, I was able to bring in new clients. And it's continuing. It hasn't stopped. And I'm looking forward to the upcoming training where I know he's going to put us to the test. It'll be like a mini boot camp. So more is coming. If you've got issues or challenges, or you're not meeting your targeted number of clients that you want to bring in on a monthly basis, you need to take advantage of the sales confidence coach, none other than Brian K. McNeill. Thanks so much, Brian, for all you've done and all you've been able to share with me to date.
Now, how cool is that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, how cool is that? And I'm gonna tell you why it's usable. One of the reasons why it's usable, because I love the flower she gives me. That's true. But what makes that usable is she says you need to use him as well, or I recommend him. Those lines, like if I gave Lisa a testimonial, says Lisa's great and I enjoy her so much, and she's just the best, and she's so fun and she's so pretty. I love working with Lisa. That's nice, but that's not a usable testimony, because I didn't say anywhere that I'd recommend her. I didn't say what I'd recommend her for. But people do that, and we receive them all. They're all nice. But usable ones reference what we did with you and that you would recommend them. That way we can say your name, she would recommend me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's cool. It's in your brain. It's hot in here. It's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes. So it is getting to the root of it. It's giving a call to action along with your testimonial. You should use him, and that is awesome. I was grateful to receive a follow-up this morning. This is a young lady that I have been interacting with for years with Women Empowerment Networks, and she had made a recommendation to me today of someone else that had worked with me probably 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, and I'm looking forward to helping her to give birth to her project as well.
Nice. Thank you, Sister Felicia. She says, go Brian with, I guess those raised hands, but thank you.
Hey, Melissa, how's Sophie feeling?
Oh, yeah. Doctor's appointment yesterday, right? Yep. So profit or purpose. Melissa Price, for example, part of what she does is an artist. Okay. And is she doing her art for the purpose or the calling of the art? Or is she doing her art because I'm going to make money off of this piece?
It's got to be a balance in there. It's got to be a balance. And I'm going to explain why. So I'm going to explain why on the side of purpose. So especially for the art, it was a big challenge for me to embrace the artistic side of what I get to do.
Okay. A challenge to embrace it?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
It was a challenge to embrace it because it was not an area that I considered myself
particularly strong.
Particularly, right. That was my best foot forward or my best element or whatever. But imagination is a very strong gift that I have. And sometimes the imagination goes beyond the implementation, and I get to call in help. But what I realized, again, going back to what comes first, the thought or the thing, without the injection of my imagination, oftentimes some of these things would go unmanifested.
If you didn't engage your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jacqueline says, the more I do my purpose, the more profit comes my way.
Yes, that's true. I'm wondering now, before I started doing what I do now, I used to manage men and women on a sales force, 15 of them. And I did that for 12 years. I used to manage people. And I was in heavy study mode at the time. And there was a thing I used to teach my guys. I said, you can't think about your own money while you're in their presence. You can only think about your money before you're in front of them or when you leave them. If you think about your own money at any point while you're in, because we had to send our salespeople out to the customers.
Mm-hmm.
We had to send them out to the potential customers. They weren't clients, they were customers.
They will corrupt the process.
Right, because if you're thinking about your money for even a moment, it'll put something across your face and they'll be able to pick up on it. I'm about to make $1,000 off of them. That'll shade your face or something. It'll come across. So you can't think about your money.
And it comes across as self-serving.
Yes, and that's probably what some of our challenges.
That's what the challenge is. That's the challenge that's the line, if you will, the fine line that oftentimes heart-centered coaches and consultants particularly walk on. Am I doing this for them or am I doing this to them?
Well, because I need the money.
And right, that would be to them. This is not necessarily going to benefit them or in their best interest, but it will definitely benefit me and my best interest. Mm-hmm. And getting to the place where you understand, almost like the Hippocratic oath, do no harm, mm-hmm. that your first and foremost purpose is the purpose that you are there, not the profit, the purpose that you are there to bring about healing, to bring about deliverance, to help them along their journey, however that manifests in your particular line of work.
Okay.
That gets to come from the first and foremost. And oftentimes, here's what happens, or at least in my experience, it'll start out one way or the other.
I forgot. I didn't see that other line. Dr. Beverly says, Brian, Lisa showed up to your documentation, LOL. So go ahead, baby. It'll start off as one or the other.
It'll start off as one or the other, and it will oftentimes transmute itself, not intentionally, sometimes subconsciously, and it will transfer to the other. And if we're not mindful of maintaining the balance where they both have equal value, and the intention is always to serve the client and to serve their needs, then we can become skewed.
The young person who goes into law because they see how poor people are unjustly treated by the law, and they decide up front, I'm going to be a champion for the people. I'm going to help those who need defending, who can least defend themselves. And that's their purpose. That's their goal. That's what they think about. They think that's their job to do. And then when they get in the industry, and they may, like Lisa just alluded to, start out that way, but then they realize there's some money in criminal defense. There's a lot of money over there defending the criminals.
Good money.
Good money defending the criminals. Let me put this purpose aside.
And not only put it aside.
And make some money.
Yeah, but not only
put the purpose aside and make money. Go ahead, baby.
I don't necessarily think that we get to that extreme, although it has happened and it could happen. I don't think it's either or. I think it becomes in which is maintaining the value.
Which one is more valuable to that person in thinking at the time?
At the time.
That's another factor. And I really believe the biggest factor, baby, the more I think this out, the biggest factor is how the entrepreneur is thinking of it. Okay, what's more important to me in this moment? Is it more important for me to serve or make money? Whatever you're thinking in that particular moment, I think is bigger. Okay, does this make sense here? We're talking about profit and purpose.
And it's important to say and, because we're not trying to tell anyone not to profit from their purpose.
We're telling them it's very important to profit.
Absolutely important.
But just as important as the purpose.
Just as
not more or less. They're just as important, on the same level of importance. If you value purpose up here and your own money down here, the game, you won't be in business very long because you won't be able to earn enough. But if you value your money up here and your purpose down here, you'll have a hard time as well because your clients will flee from you. Okay, potential clients won't trust you. They'll see that you're all about the money. You're not about them. It's got to be the same level of importance. And that's where the balancing act comes in. That's where you have to keep checking yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah. Good morning, Brittany. Absolutely. Maintaining the balance in what you have. It is very, very important also
Good morning,
to
Brittany.
properly assess the value of what you do.
Yes. Properly assess the value. Okay.
Properly assess the value.
Now, it sounds like you're going down another road because value-based pricing or value-based offerings. Okay. Is that where you're going?
I think it's more about understanding than it is pricing, but I think they go hand in hand.
Okay. Well, what I was thinking, and she's saying this may go hand in hand, is you charge based upon the value that they receive, not necessarily just because they can afford it. If they're going to get $10,000 of value, you need to be charging close to that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the converse is also true.
And the converse is also true. If you're charging 10 grand, but they're only getting $2,000 worth of value, that doesn't work either.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So,
and if they think they're going to be paying $2,000 and you ask for 10, you're definitely wrong because they didn't see the value.
They didn't.
And
see
you had a
or
lot to
understand
say
the
about
value.
whether they saw the value or not.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that that's really, really important to understand and to assess. And that is something that someone can help you with, but ultimately, the cost of the oil in your alabaster box.
That's right.
You understand what you went through. The tax collectors are at the door and they're saying, she's wasting this oil. She could sell this oil, and she's wasting this oil by washing his feet or anointing his feet with this oil. And another person is reviewing it a different way. She's gifting that oil in exchange for all that she's gained from him. So it's important that you value your oil according to what you did to accomplish it, and how it is also measuring out in the marketplace.
One of the greatest illustrations of you valuing what you went through to achieve, or is the value of what you learned and your know-how. U.S. Steel at one time was one of the largest companies in the world, and inexplicably their machines locked up.
Mm-hmm.
And try as they might, they could
couldn't
not
fix
get
it.
those machines to go.
They had mechanic after mechanic come in and look at it.
And every day that those machines weren't running was costing them millions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Millions.
Millions. I thought you were going to say it like that.
Millions. Okay. And it was very expensive not to have machines going. And they
were getting frustrated.
Yes, it was costing them so much. They had an expert come in
mm-hmm.
who hadn't had him before.
Mm-hmm.
He looked over everything,
mm-hmm.
and he went to a spot on the machines.
Yeah.
He tapped it twice.
Yeah.
And the machine starts whirring and went back to work again.
Yep.
And he submitted them a bill for like $250,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, all you did was tap it twice. You're not paying me for what I did.
Or how long it took.
You're paying me for knowing where to tap.
Absolutely.
And that made sense to them.
That should make sense. What didn't make sense was that he tapped it before he got paid. But
well, that's
no.
Another thing. Ivy Lee was also he's an efficiency expert. Ivy Lee, I think it was around one of those same companies. It might have been U.S. Steel as well. He went to them. He says, "I have a solution to your management problems here that'll make your whole company work better. And you just pay me. You can try it as long as you like, and pay me what you think it was worth, whatever you decide to."
Mm-hmm.
And what he told them was, he says, "I want every night all your managers and you to write down the 6 most important things that you must do tomorrow. The 6 most important things." And he said, and so when tomorrow comes, you work on the most important thing only until that one most important thing is done. And if you only get to do that one thing, so what? You got the most important thing done. And he says, and if you do happen to get that single most important thing done that day, then you go to the new number 1 most important thing. So you're only working on the most important things. So I think it might have been Schwab as well. He took that suggestion. He made all his managers do it. He did it himself. And he gave Ivy Lee a check for $1 million. He said this was the single greatest idea that has helped this company more than anything. He gave him a check for $1 million for that idea.
But he had to be dealing with reputable people in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
because it could easily have gone a different
I
way.
didn't work at all. I'm not giving you nothing.
Right. Beverly says, "Oh, I love that song. You wasn't there the night that he found me. You didn't
My
feel
alabaster box. Yeah.
what I felt
Yes.
when he wrapped his loving arms around me. You don't know the cost of my oil. You don't know the cost of my praise. You don't know the cost of my oil and my alabaster block." Well, I'm just blessing God right now. I'm praising him. I'm dancing in this room. You don't know.
No one sings that song better than Tina Morris Anderson, Pastor Anderson's wife. Tina Morris Anderson. They're pastors of what's the name of that church? The Living Waters Church out of Raleigh, North Carolina, where the love of God is always flowing, something like that. No, the Fountain of Raleigh is the name of their church. The name of the church is the Fountain of Raleigh, where God's love is always flowing. And Tina Morris Anderson sings that song, The Alabaster Box, so beautifully. So I hope someone from Baptist, the Fountain, hears me say that and tells her I shouted her out today.
Thank you, Miss Brittany. Thank you. I appreciate it. She says, "You look pretty today, Lisa Santiago McNeill with hearts."
Lisa looks pretty every day.
Thank you, Ryan. The check is in the mail.
You don't have to give me a check.
Brittany says, "Good morning, everyone." Good morning, everyone. We appreciate it.
I'm going to take my pretty wife out of town this weekend.
Out of town?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me what we're going to do.
I didn't tell you what I want to do because you like to be surprised, and I like to surprise you. Okay. She just said, out of town. Yeah. But
Jacqueline says, "I love doing the talents and gifts that serve my purpose. So much so that profit has shown up when I was not being intentional. I believe because I value my purpose within. Profit seems to come and come and come. And sometimes it's actual cash, and other times it is tremendous favor. A $25,000 legal bill was done pro bono. A 4-month holistic treatment was suddenly wiped clean, just to name a few."
Couture says, "You are gorgeous every day, Lisa." And she said, "Pay me later."
She said, Lisa.
Let me say this, though, Sister Jacqueline. I'm so happy that you said that because there's a lot of entrepreneurs, I think, got that part twisted. Unfortunately, which is part of the premise of the show. They value this. I'm just going to keep on serving and I'll get my blessing.
Particularly heart-centered entrepreneurs. And actually, in all honesty, particularly those who have endured some level of discomfort to obtain the knowledge that they learned.
Yes, but there's a problem with it. When it's like, for example, if someone wants to become a professional speaker and they'll tell people, "I'm willing to speak for free. I'm speaking for free." And if you keep saying that you'll speak for free, you'll have a lot of opportunities to speak for free. But if you only do that, if you never make that shift to start charging and expecting to be paid, you'll just keep on getting opportunities to do for free.
Absolutely.
Heart Center, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, baby.
I was going to say, and understand the balance between us. We started out the show explaining that this is it's an incremental thing. I'll speak for nothing. For someone to consistently say that may not understand that they simply don't know enough to properly process what they do. They may have the knowledge, they may have the experience, but they
That's what
may
it comes
not.
across as. That's what you're telling the world. I don't value what I do enough to charge for it. That's what you're coming across as. One of my mentors, for years, was trying to get me to explain, trying to make me charge more. He goes, "Brian, the clients you're trying to serve won't respect you paying that much." And it went over my head every time. I didn't understand it until I spent $9,000 on a training program. And when I spent $9,000 on the training program, everything changed in my head. Whoa, I'm spending that much money for this. Her stuff was good, but my stuff was equally as good too. So that made me charge significantly more, and it made a lot of difference.
And Felicia says, "That's why I want to make sure with my business, my heart is in what I do. I truly want to help those I serve so that they will see the value in my service and they will gladly pay for it." Absolutely, but in reverse. You get to see the value in what you do. You get to know the value of what it is that you bring. They pay for it before you do it.
That's right. We coin operated.
They pay for it before you do it.
We go to work once you put the coin in.
Brittany says, value your oil. That's a whole word. Value your oil could mean protecting your environment and not being afraid to stick to your prices.
That's right. Here's an interesting thing I learned over the years in offerings and selling. The longer you stick to your rate, okay, they come up instead of you come down. Okay, if you stick to your rate, they will come up to your rate.
And the thing about it is, you're benefiting them.
Mm-hmm.
You're benefiting them. Now, we're not saying anything against operating your purpose. There's plenty of things that I do for purpose sake, and I get to establish that, and I get to implement that apart from what I charge for, because I am in control of my time and I am in control of my opportunities. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Stick to your rates. Many years and not negotiable. Okay. Oh my gosh. There's so many stories come to mind. Can I tell one or two? Tell one first. When I first came to Charlotte back in 2006, 7, and 8, 10, I wanted to take out an ad in the magazine. I wanted someone to put together the ad for me. And I went to someone that a lot of my friends had used. I'd seen her around at different networking events. And I quoted, and she quoted me, and her rates was like twice what other rates I've gotten. You know, I was like, you're a lot more expensive than the such and such. She goes, fine, go use somebody cheaper. And she was done with her negotiating. She wasn't saying nothing else. But the thought of, go ahead, use someone cheaper, because the thought is there's always someone willing to do it for cheaper, but it's going to be good. She did it in such a way that made me terrified to hire someone cheaper. You know, like, oh God, do I want to do it that way? She held her rates, and she was fine with her rates. She knew she was more expensive, and she didn't have to explain it no more than that. That's amazing to me. I never forgot that.
I had a consult call on yesterday, and the person was a little bit more, what is the word? Pragmatic?
Okay. Practical or pragmatic?
More practical and pragmatic than I'm used to dealing with. That's not to say that the people that I deal with are not practical or pragmatic, but they're often led by the Spirit. And they're also often, at this point, are often referred. So there's a level of expectation already in there. And this person was very pragmatic. They were very pedantic. They were asking questions about things, and I had to get to the point where I said, you know, I could explain all of that to you, or I could simply do it for you. Now, if you want to learn it, it'll cost this, which was twice the amount of me doing it, right? So if you want me to teach it to you, I will happily teach it to you. Here's what the cost is. Or you can simply hire me to do it, and here's what the cost is. And it took a second, but they were kind of like, oh, yes, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, absolutely. I don't have a problem sharing the information, but understand, if I teach you everything that I know. You still
have to do it too? That's more. Because a lot of times.
Well, no, they don't want me to do it. They want me, at that moment, they didn't want me to do it for them. They wanted me to explain each and every step for them. I could happily do that. There's a curriculum for that. But that's in essence, that's me giving you a publishing business. And I don't give them away. I don't give away publishing businesses.
You know, so many people that take on, apprentices, people that learn, and they realize all they were doing is creating their competition.
Training their competition. Yeah. Jacqueline says, years ago, people wanted me to do volunteer work all the time. I said no. I told them I paid for my education and training. I'm bringing value.
That's the right line.
Yes, I have done a few things without payment or profit. However, I truly believe that a profit is a blessing to me and honors God. A laborer is worthy of his or her hire. Amen.
Now, I am of the opinion that we always have to do some stuff for free.
Absolutely.
But you decide what you're willing to do for free.
And you establish that as part of your process. Yes. Katura says, I had to establish that with my private rates, and I stand by them today. Yes, find someone cheaper and then come back when you still don't understand.
Imagine hiring the cheapo tattoo artist.
No.
I remember
That could be dangerous.
When I was on the sales force, back when I managed salespeople, I was a selling sales manager. And I was in one meeting and everybody was talking about how everybody's trying to just get the lowest price. And we used to call her that, lowest price. I don't sell lowest price, okay? But anyway, lowest price, okay? But anyway, and these guys was talking. I couldn't remember the last time I had lowered my price, because I just wouldn't. I tell them up front, I'm going to give you a great offer. And when they say that's high, I say, I told you I would give you a good deal. That was my line. I wouldn't lower it at all. And it had been a long time. I couldn't remember the last time I had it. After I told them what I told them, it just never came up again. And all these other guys was whining about having to always lower their prices. Not for me. We had the same customers. It was a decision or a thought process or a mindset that I had that they didn't have. A mindset.
Mm-hmm. And so we started this out classifying profit and purpose as business conversation, but it is going around in my head as a mindset principle as well. A balance of that mindset principle. And you get to define it, you get to respond to it, and you get to stand up for it.
Yes. It's now 9:44. Every single one of you guys could have been someplace else besides where you are today.
Oh, and we're sending journey mercies and traveling prayers for Dr. Deborah Dunstan. She's driving to Tennessee.
She's done this drive before, but she's on the road now. The roads can be very dangerous. It's a pretty drive when it's nice and safe, but we pray her journey mercies right now on her way to Tennessee to visit friends.
And her mom.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on the road right now. Dr. Deborah Dunstan is on the road again. But all you guys could have been somewhere else, but you chose to be here with us. We call it as an honor and a gift that you chose to give us some of your minutes. And we'd like to thank you guys that are consistent contributors with a greeting song or a greeting logo. Her name is still Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And he is still Brian K. McNeill.
And together we make up what's called the Empowerment Duo. So up first is who?
Up first is Jacqueline Rosier. Pretty little girl that I adore. You're the only one my heart beats for. How I'm glad that you are mine.
Jacqueline Rosier, we love your contributions. Up next is Sister Katura Green. Back to life. Back to Katura Green.
However do you want it? However
do you need it?
Do you need it?
Dr. Beverly Thomas is here. Dr. Beverly is on the show. I love this story. She said, someone in the street said that to her. Beverly is on the show.
And good morning, Sharonda. Good morning. I want to say that I got to meet Sharonda this weekend, but I am trying to. I think
are you still here, Sharonda? Did you meet Lisa this weekend? Okay.
I think I did. I'm looking for a bigger picture because it's too little.
Okay. Up next was Felicia.
Yes, Felicia. Yes, I got to meet Sharonda.
You did?
I think so.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
Yes, I did.
Okay, great.
Yes, I did. Yay.
Okay.
I did.
Lovely young lady.
Absolutely. She Jacqueline said, love my song. I sing it to myself all day. It keeps
good.
me happy. I'm so glad.
I love that you love your song.
Felicia's here. Felicia, we love you.
You're the one.
The one for me.
Tarnez, you got to give me a hint, man, about where to find your song. Something, man. Give me a clue, Tarnez.
Whoa, Vivian Reed is here. Vivian Reed is here, and now the show can go on.
Oh, good morning, Miss Vivian. How you doing, my sister? Melissa Price is here. Bam, 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 bam. Melissa's on. Now it's time for us to sing her song.
Melissa's on. Good morning, Melissa, and good morning to you,
The
Charlotte
head
and Sophie.
usher.
I certainly hope Sophie is feeling better, and
Brittany Thomas
no
is
one
here.
else is been affected. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. Brittany Thomas. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. It's Brittany. Brittany. It's your time. It's your time. Yeah.
I was looking at my Facebook memories. I'm just looking at Brittany there because she's a little bit younger. And a few years ago, we did what we call Young Entrepreneurs Sales Training. And we posted all the testimonials. We had like 7 or 8 testimonials that we posted, maybe 6, 7. I don't know how many. But we posted testimonials, and these guys were all in their 20s. And it was just so, one guy was actually 11. Okay. But they were young entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good time had by all. And I'm thinking about doing something like that again. I don't know. There might not be any profit in it, so I might shouldn't do it, right? I mean, there's no purpose in helping young people learn how to sell themselves early, right? They got to figure out how much profit's in it, right?
Anyway, Katura said I sing everyone's song throughout the day. They
She
stay
sings
in my
everyone's song.
head. Shy is back. You get to sing
Yep.
her song.
Is she next? Okay, cool. Let's go. When she sees your face, there's not a thing that she would change, because Shy will accept you just the way you are.
The way you are.
I always get caught up with her song. Do I do it falsetto? But I can't hold falsetto for long.
So you did it fine. Then I'll come back to the end.
Huh?
You did it fine.
Okay, cool. When I just did a song, I start off, when I see your face. I can't keep falsetto. I could do it like in a moment or two. I should have said, when I see her, when she sees your face. I can hold that longer. There's not a thing that she would change. I can hold that longer.
The Shy will accept you just the way you are.
She says, it's so happy.
The way you are.
Bruno Mars, the man.
I like Bruno Mars.
I liked him once I saw him on Saturday Night Live as the host, and he was in all these skits, and I realized this boy is really, really talented. He could do a lot. He could do comedy acting and singing and performing. This man is really talented. So I liked him more after I saw him on Saturday Night Live.
Well, I'm glad. I am glad. I am grateful we get to hang out with you guys each and every day. Tomorrow, I am not going to be here in the morning. I have something that I have to handle, and Brian will be holding it down.
I'll be in the big chair, y'all. I'll be running the show by myself tomorrow, unless I find a co-host. But most likely, I'll just be running the show by myself tomorrow. I'll be playing the parts of both Lisa and myself. And we've done that before. That's one of the strengths of having a marriage and a couplehood. When one has to step away, we can still conquer. We can still get it done.
Yes, absolutely. Jacqueline, this is a good point. She says choosing your target market is important. As a cosmetologist, why would I work in a low-income neighborhood and charge $200 for your hair?
Because they will find the $200 in a poor neighborhood. Poor neighborhoods, they buy the $200 and $300 Jordans. Okay? Poor neighborhoods. Why do they have a Foot Locker in every poor neighborhood?
Felicia said, yes, I find myself singing them as well, sometimes throughout the day.
Wow.
It keeps me smiling all day. You guys are so amazing. We appreciate it.
That tickles me that you guys sing the songs. That's awesome. I think that's the best right there.
That is really cool. And
so today's a full work day. Today's Wednesday?
It is.
Is it Wednesday already?
It is.
We got Wednesday. I hope you don't have a client right now.
No.
Because I need your help like as soon as the show's over.
Okay. Katura says, Tarnas can host with you, Brian.
Tarnas could host with me.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. That would actually be fun. Let's talk on the phone, but I need like a half an hour before I get on the phone with anybody. Okay.
Do It by the Miracles is Tarnas's song.
Do It Baby by the Miracles.
Do It Baby.
I know Do It Baby by I'm thinking Do Me Baby. Do It Baby by the Miracles. I'm gonna look that up. But thank you, Tarnes. I'm gonna look up the song. And Katura just raised your hand.
She volunteered you for tomorrow at 9:00. So
to co-host the show with my brother, it'll be fine. And I called Tarnes my brother because I'm telling you guys, in pictures, we look like we could be brothers.
Yeah. Beverly says Tuyani's song came to the radio and I saw her part because it's just didn't sound right anymore without her part being in the song. I know, right? Oh, he sent you his song.
Okay, great. Thank you.
We love you. We love you. We love you. And I think that'll be cool tomorrow. I can't wait to watch the replay.
I think it would be cool if I co-hosted with you, Tarnes. Two chocolate bald head brothers. Man, we're going to have a brothers whole slant. Okay. It'll be for the brothers, by some brothers. We'll be talking brother stuff. We'll be talking man talk. Y'all ladies, y'all just going to have to listen. We're going to be talking about the kind of stuff that we want to talk about.
Whatever.
I might wear a dashiki to the show tomorrow.
If we allow it. We appreciate
with my afro pick.
Where you gonna stick your
I don't know where
pick?
I was sticking.
That's gonna be
hold it in my hand.
Oh my goodness. My hair is growing back already.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Tarnes go wear his afro pick too. Hey, Tuyani.
Oh, we got to do Tuyani song. We got a minute.
Go ahead.
Do you remember it? How we do Tuyani song? Oh, I know. It's dang, I need a prompt.
Oh my goodness, you lost it.
I had it a second ago. Prompt me for your song, Tuyani, please. We want to do it before you leave. Before we leave. What's the beginning of it?
Happy people in the air.
Tuyani Akanke everywhere.
Do, 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 do. That's right. We love you, Tuyani and Tarnes. That's right. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Brian will see you, and hopefully Tarnes will be hanging out with him. And don't forget to have sex. I mean, why not?
Why not? I got